Hello, everybody. Long time no see. This time, I'm going to talk a lot about No Sleep from Kaname Date from AI, the Sonium files. I would like to let you know that I was playing it on Nintendo Switch. So, the most rewarding question I can ask myself during a review period is what have I been missing? I was asking myself early and repeatedly while playing No Sleep for Kaname Date. I'll stick with this title name because the whole title is too much, too long. By the time I finished, that question changed to what have I been playing? So this is the feeling when you finish the game, basically. This game in bonkers in all the best way. The characters are ridiculous, but somehow grounded and relatable. The story is unpredictable, but never cheats its way throughout the world it creates. The gameplay is unique but well framed with the confines of the narrative. AI Somnium Files is now on my short list of franchises worth adding to my backlog. This means, of course, that I have no experience with the previous games. And, the AI Somnium Files and AI Somnium Files Nirvana Initiative, well, thankfully, you don't need to have played those games to find out why Main Date isn't getting any sleep. Although numerous characters carry over they well experienced within the game, and the entirely mostly stands alone. That includes the gameplay style. From what I understand, No Sleep for Kaname Date is mostly an escape room puzzler. The premise of that international idol named Iris Sagan is kidnapped and put into dangerous escape room situation, and it's up to Kanam and his cohorts to solve the puzzles and free her from entrapment before she blasted off into space or wherever eventually breeds failure. When not solving escape room puzzles, Kaname utilizes the help of his left eye, which is initially an instinct ops AI ball named Aiba to run an investigation to enter the dream world of suspects and undefined people trapped inside mysterious pods they have sprung up around the city. I suppose that the last part be yours for their explanation. Kaneme is a sciencer for ABIS, the Advanced Brain Investigation Squad. This allows him to do entering brains to explore the breakthrough and mental locks to uncover truths and represent memories. Their sign timeline is limited, so they need to quickly locate and parse the information they need, then proceed efficiently to work their way out. Thankfully, the countdown clock stops if you stop moving, so you'll be able to think things throughout along the way. The choices you make will impact how quickly time decreases, and there's a bonus system in a place which seems to reward you for doing the wrong thing. I'm not sure I ever understood that, but I was still able to work my way through. Ace Attorney fans will be right at home with this, even if the approach and presentation are quotable and a bit more bizarre. A big chunk of the gameplay involves investigation. In this section, Kinam is able to examine various areas to collect clues and obtain information needed to locate Iris and uncover who are behind her kidnapping. Again, Aiba is usually there to help you pinpoint what you need, but much of the game charms comes from the checking out items and people that obviously have no bearing or anything. The narration and dialogue are tremendously funny in these segments, and the writers found many ways to bring the game to hilariously bad endings. Who knew that repeatedly clicking on the lockers or fireworks could be so much fun? Well, even the occasional QTY combat segments are fun. If they do give you trouble, you can adjust their difficulty separately from the puzzles. The real challenge comes from the numerous escape rooms you need to solve. These basically involve exploring the rooms to get clues, deciphering those clues, obtaining and combining items, and then figure out where to apply everything. You control different characters throughout giving each unique approach. The puzzles are never terribly difficult, although there were one room that had me stumped on how to get even started. On another, my wife had to step in and help me work out throughout one clue I was completely misreading. Well, if you do get stuck, the games allow you to change the difficulty settings to decrease the vagueness of the assistance you're receiving from the other characters. controls throughout the game are easy to use. This may not sound like a big deal, but considering the diversity of how the Joy-Cons must be used in the various sections, it's actually quite impressive. Working your way through all escape rooms is a clean process, mostly free from camera positioning issues, and the UI for sorting inventory and accessing items and abilities it's easy to work through. The anime quality visuals are fine. The characters are cleanly and distinctly rendered, and they're mostly voiced well. Per usual, however, the English acting on a couple draw me to use the Japanese voices. The background textures can be dropped and muddy in places, but that just helps the foreground elements pop a bit more. Know that although I played the game on the Switch too, my provided copy was on the just standard switches. So if we are able to file any complaint, it will be that the game quite short. Without attempting to unlock all the bonuses, I reached the ending of a little over 22 hours. The benefit to that, however, is just never a point where the gameplay is not engaging, when the characters are not endearing, when the dialogues are not funny. I got the feeling some of the wordplay jokes just didn't translate well from Japanese, but they never became an issue. Kaname seems fetishing with Porimax, to other hand, may be an issue for some, but not for me. Anyone who supports print and magazines has my support, but I suggest um alternative much less likely to interfere with any eventual political um things. It's better because characters and writings that I feel fans AI Somnimus files won't mind the appearance gameplay change up no sleep for Kaname Date. In the hands of the developers, this goofy premise and mod style structure could be a mess. But Spike Chunsoft nailed it, and mostly because the writers are able to keep things lively throughout. The narrative really shines, trying to gather not just the separate gameplay elements, but also people caught within them. You could put this cast in a first person shooter of the farming sim, and I'd still play it if it came from the same dev team. So count me in front of the series and count this game as one of my top picks of 2025. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe. Yeah, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to find me on Twitter and ask me there. I mean, X. Peace.